Hi, I'm Sheri DiMaris and welcome to Macro Magic. We're filming here live from Willow Creek Winery in Cape May, and I'm with a very special friend and guest, Mary McCabe. Welcome, Mary.
Welcome. I'm happy to be here.
And Mary's come with so much experience. She's owned 2 restaurants. One was Bridges in Ocean City, New Jersey, and the second one was Mary's Restaurant in Manayunk. And she comes with many years of macrobiotic cooking experience. Currently, she's working as an airline stewardess, where we're pulling her back into the food world. And she hopes to teach a lot of people out there how to cook macrobiotic food and how to make it delicious. And today we're making a Japanese nabe dish, which I'm very excited about. You've got these beautiful nabe pots that you brought.
Yes.
Want to tell us a little bit about nabe and the history
Well,
of nabe?
nabe is originally from Japan, and they did it like 6,000 to 7,000 years ago. It started, and also it comes from the homes in Japan. Earlier, the heart of the home was this big pit, and they put firewood in it, and they put the fire, and then they put a pot similar to this.
So this is a cast iron
and it would
little
be a big
pot with a lid.
And it would be in the middle of the fire, and then the family would sit around, and it would be all flat, and they'd eat out of the one pot, and that's what nabe, it means one pot.
So one pot meals in Japanese, and we have so many vegetables to put in it. It's amazing. Mary has prepped all night for this. She has sliced carrots. She has noodles. And what are these little Japanese
Oh, these are food.
dumplings?
We have a little sampling of them in the roll. These are a wheat gluten.
So food comes in a package like this?
Like that, and then you soak it, and then you cut it to whatever shape. You can deep fry it. You can also we're going to put it right into our nabe.
Looks like a donut.
This is already a broth that I've made out of kombu, which we have kombu over there, and that's a sea vegetable. And what it does is it makes a beautiful stock full of minerals and very tasty, and it's the base for this soup, and it's called dashi, and it's very common. You can look it up on the internet easily. So what we're going
kombu, I know, is sort of the MSG, the natural MSG, right, of Chinese cooking and Japanese cooking. So it's simply just a strip of sea vegetable and some dried shiitake mushrooms, which you can find in your grocery store.
So we also have lotus root. This is a wonderful food, great for your sinuses. And see all the holes like your sinuses? And that's a great food, and it's really tasty and very pretty. Lots of preparations for it. I'm using my hands, but they're clean. So I want you to know that.
So we have carrots, lotus root, mushrooms going in. And did you cut these mushrooms with little flowers on top?
Yes, I did.
Oh my gosh, so beautiful.
Here, I'll use this. Yes, we have the foo. So when you want to start the pot, you have your broth all made, and sometimes they use a clear broth, or you can put soy sauce in it. I kind of want to wait till we are having most of it cooked, and then we're going to add soy sauce, because it tends to boil, and then it kind of ruins the soy sauce because it's a live food, and it kills what's live in it to make you healthy. So we're putting everything in the one pot, and you kind of separate and make sure.
All the vegetables around in different places.
Oh wait, this is.
So what I understand in Japanese households, they use these burners on the table actually, and they bring out the plate of food and actually put the food into the nabe and cook it and then serve it and then bring out some more, right?
Yes, and so everyone can eat from the same pot, and it makes a wonderful social way to eat. So everybody's taking what they want, as much as they want. And some people don't want certain items in the pot, so they take what they can. There was also there was a big thing for sumo wrestlers in Japan, which is their national sport, and they had to make them very strong and their technique very strong.
Oh, nice.
So they would make, it's called chanko nabe, because there's different types of nabe.
Oh.
And the sumo wrestlers would eat out of this one big pot, and theirs would be all seasoned ahead of time, because they all ate that way. Then there's Buddhist monastery had so many Chinese sumo wrestlers come, so they had to really eat from one pot, And the senior, very heavier set wrestlers, they would eat all first, and if by the end, then the junior ones would wait on them, and then if there was anything left, they could eat the rest. However, sometimes they just
left.
broth. Yes.
So we're cooking for the whole crew out here at the winery today. So Mary's putting all sorts of vegetables in the nabe pot. She's putting lots of, these are udon noodles, correct?
Yes, we have a sample of the udon.
So
and
we have
the
Japanese
vermicelli, which is a rice stick. So
two different kinds of
noodles. This is a very wonderful food for people that are can't eat gluten and certain items, and it's just so good. And then I have deep fried. This is a fried tofu, so you get two different kinds of types of. And then this is daikon. There's so much.
And daikon we wanted to talk about. It's a big white radish, and if you grate it, it helps dissolve fat in the bloodstream. And you know, people with gallstones or kidney stones, people with high blood pressure, heart problems, this is a wonderful, delicious food. You often find it in Japanese restaurants grated, and you can eat it with fish. Right?
Yeah, we grated it here because after you have the pot is all made, so now we're going to put the lid on and make sure it comes to a boil.
Oh, nice.
And then when there's a little hole in the nabe pot right here, and then when the steam comes out, then you know it's done. So everybody takes chopsticks, or you can use your fork, whatever, or tongs. I have tongs here. And then you lift out into your bowl whatever you'd like to have. And then there's lots of little toppings and seasonings.
And what do we have for toppings?
This is a little bit of scallion, a little bit of lemon juice, and also soy sauce.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And then we have some, are these toasted sesame seeds?
Sesame seeds. And then you have some parsley you can put up top of the daikon if you like.
Some grated daikon.
And ginger. And then this is toasted sesame oil. And then this is the little peppers.
We used to call it chichimi.
Yeah, and it's
Hot
got a lot of
pepper.
hot peppers. And it gives a nice flavoring to the whole broth soup.
So I know you could put seafood in there too, like shrimp and crab and clams.
Originally it was just tofu for the protein and seafood and vegetables, because that's pretty much all Japanese people ate, because it's a very big water country, and waterfalls, lots of, it's an island. So then as time went on, they discovered meat, and then I think more in like 19th century they started, and people thought that was a luxury, so they began to integrate meat. So there's all kinds of nabe.
And I know we
chicken.
recommend nabe and macrobiotic counseling because it settles the nervous system.
It's very warming.
Yeah, if you're very cold and it's a cold winter night, it's nice to make a nabe, but it's also settling and soothing for the person. So if they're very anxiety ridden or tense or hyperactive, it's a very relaxing dish.
Yeah, it's a huge comfort food. And even though it's now turning into summer, this is usually a winter food that we use it for, and because it really warms you up and strengthens you and comforts you. So it's great food for that. And it's easy.
You want to explain a little bit about the soy sauce, because I know it's organic and natural.
Yeah, soy sauce is made from, you can get from soybeans and barley.
Barley.
Yeah, and they use a fermentation, and it ferments it over a course of time, and then it becomes soy sauce. And there is also
it's not
tamari.
like the commercial soy sauce you use
this
with
is
caramel coloring and salt.
We used to make this in California. So it's wonderful to make, because I used to work with Morimoto, Sensei Morimoto in California, and he made miso and soy sauce and umeboshi, all these Japanese fermented foods. And when we made the soy sauce, you start out with wheat, and we had to steam the wheat, and then you added the koji, which is your fermented bacteria, that's healthy bacteria, and you add this to this wheat, and every day we would have to turn it. And he would say his hands had such good bacteria on his hands, like healthy bacteria, that he would, and when you put your hands into this big mound of wheat, and it would start to ferment, and it was hot. It was so hot, you couldn't believe. We put your hand inside, and that's from the koji, eating the wheat.
So it's so important to eat these fermented foods because they help your digestion.
Add to your digestion, and they add all that.
And you can find it in Whole Foods and other natural foods markets.
Actually, you can find this in a lot of places now.
Supermarkets.
Yes,
Yeah.
a lot of stores have it. Anyway, so it's still coming to a boil, and you will see it'll start steaming. and it's just beautiful. And we want to add our green onion. And
so scallions.
yeah, I always take the bottoms off, and I put them in a little tub of water on my sink. And before you know it, they start to sprout, and I put them in the garden, and you got your own.
Oh, you can grow it back,
they really
like
grow.
garlic. That's
Yeah.
pretty neat.
So you can just do this to put it in. You can make it nice, pretty.
So would you make these nabes in your restaurants ever?
Sure.
In Mary's restaurant, did you make nabe?
Yes, actually, on one of my pictures that had the nabe as featured. So we
So
don't want the
people-
soy sauce to boil too much, but we're going to add some.
Smells so wonderful. Okay, when we come back, we're going to try this delicious nabe, and we'll talk more to Mary about what she's been doing now with her cooking and teaching.
Say we've got grit, and we'll take it as a compliment. Because it's our uncommon drive, our spark within, that brings us together and sets us apart. We are temple made. And when others take shortcuts, when others take breaks, when others take the easy way, we take charge.
I work 13 hours a day, 6 days a week. So when I'm off the clock, I gotta get stuff done. So when I need a snack, I need something healthy, tasty, and easy to eat. Like wonderful pistachios without the shells. They're protein-powered, delicious, and great on the go. And that's perfect for me. Thanks, Liz. A woman without a lot of time.
Hi, I'm Sheri DiMaris, and we're back with Mary McCabe at the Willow Creek Winery. And Mary is demoing our favorite dish, nabe, Japanese nabe. We're learning so much about how they prepared it in Japan and how you can prepare it at home. So we have the nabe boiling, and you're cutting the scallions.
Scallions for garnish.
Okay.
So,
And then when do you know if this dish is done?
well, it's got a little hole here that is supposed to pop out some steam, which we can't necessarily see here in the light.
You
But
sort
see,
of
it's-
just look
you
at the
can see that it's
vegetables.
boiling now, and all the flavors are going together. And I'm going to lower it because I don't want it to boil too far up, because we want to add soy sauce. But everyone can also enjoy making their own
So we're going to have the cast and crew at Willow Creek come by and fill up their little bowls of some noodles, some vegetables. Looks
Give it
like bok choy over there. I know when I was in Japan, they actually put lettuce in during the summertime just to make it more refreshing. And you have two types of noodles. You have a gluten-free noodle, which is made out of rice.
Yeah, it's vermicelli rice, just rice
Vermicelli
and
rice.
water.
Okay, and an udon noodle, which is made out of wheat and sea salt.
So we'll season it a little more, but everyone can season up to their own taste. You could add salt to this, or fish stock.
And we have some grated ginger, which people can put in.
Yeah, let's let it cook a tiny bit more, because the green onions are still.
Okay, so Mary, tell me what you're doing now that you're an airline stewardess, but you're also creating Mary's Veggie Cooking,
Yep.
which we're wearing the T-shirts today. And what do you hope to do in terms of teaching
Well,
people?
I just feel I've been around long enough. It's been way over 40 years, I think. Yeah, my age. That I've been. I think I was 22 when I started, and it was a little difficult in the beginning because Macrobiotics was so strict. All there was this hacho miso, and you know, it was so difficult. And the health food stores, nobody had any of the products. So
Oh yeah,
it was
now
difficult.
we can get tempeh and tofu and
Everything's
Whole
available, and
Foods,
even
and
in the mainstream
people
markets.
know about Buddha bowls and
Yeah,
whole
it's-
grains and
yeah,
stuff.
it's really changed. So in the beginning, I had to stop for a little while because I got sick. I just, you know, it was just not balanced enough. So when I came back in, I studied with different people. I took all the classes up in Massachusetts with the Kushi people, and every class I could go to, I went. And then I discovered the people in California, the Harris, and so I went out there every year and worked at her summer camp and was a cook with her, and just with varieties of experience that have just taken me. And then I had 2 restaurants. Well, I used to cook for my at home and my house, but when I got married, my husband didn't like all these people coming to the house and picking up food, so we ended up getting a restaurant in Philadelphia, and that
Which was
called
very popular. I used to
Mary's
eat there all the
Restaurant.
time.
Yeah, that was fun.
So, moving ahead, now that you are not owning the restaurants, but you're wanting to teach more, I know you have a business card.
Yeah, I'm trying more now because of the experience and knowledge and my all these years of cooking. I have recipes and I just really want to share. So I see so many people, especially when I'm working on the airline, that don't know how to cook or always, you know, trying to figure out. And most people just tend to eat chicken. You know, they eat so much chicken, but it's because it's tasty, but they don't know how to do something else to replace it. And there's just so much variety. Like this type of thing is just so wonderful. And it's so easy to make, you know, and just takes, actually, the hard part is washing and preparing and making a large variety, but
And kids can love it.
They
Kids
love
can
it.
eat
They
it.
love putting it all together.
And it's so fresh. And we didn't go over lotus root, but lotus root looks like a lung. So
Yeah,
it heals any,
sinuses.
you know, if you have bronchitis or sinusitis or any congestion in the lungs, it helps to dry out the lungs and bring up the mucus.
Yeah, we used to take it and make sticks out of it and put it up our nose, and when you were real clogged, and it would make you sneeze.
So now that you are free from your, you know, not working at your restaurants, you're creating Mary's Veggie Cooking.
Yeah.
And you're having a blog.
Yeah, I'm working
some
on it all. It's not
recipes.
quite constructed yet. Learning a lot
look
of
for
different
it in the
things with
future.
Making a little website and be able to put all my recipes up and pictures and just share ways of doing things and making it simple
And we're
for people.
hoping you run a bed and breakfast someday. Mary's Bed and Breakfast. She was so generous through the years, just making these huge dinners, which people in Philadelphia all
done.
came to her house to eat all the time. And you're always cooking and you're always preparing something delicious.
I do. Yeah. Yeah, my daughter just came down. She needed a break, and what did I have Mom make? And she had orders. Oh, can we make a toast? You know, she just had and make crepes and can we
Like
make
a
this?
restaurant.
Yeah, she wanted all Mom's food. I said, you needed a mommy day, didn't you?
Yeah, and I actually have seen you mill your own grain and you make crepes and you make cornbread out of it. I have some of your freshly milled corn.
Yes. Yeah, I
hard
love
corn.
that. Yes.
So it's amazing. You just create these wonderful, really
There's
grounding
nothing like
dishes.
fresh grain that's been ground. The taste is so strong and it's not stale anymore. When you get store-bought, you know, you really don't know when they milled it. So this is you're sure of when you got it, and you can get. I can get it. I get it through Amazon. The corn and the wheat or anything that I want.
So you can buy the organic in bulk and mill it yourself. I know
Yeah.
there's electric grain millers and hand grain millers.
Yeah.
So this is just wonderful to have you out there. Is there anything else you want to tell our viewers about?
Well, this is what they do.
Nabe?
So all the people would sit and they'd be a circle, and so your nabe would be in the middle, and it would be
The
cooking,
different size
and everyone
nabe
would
pots.
sit and take from the pot, and it's very social because you're eating the same food from the same broth, and it makes everybody harmonious, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So
And I see you have some wonderful Chinese cabbage and bok choy
Yeah.
for greens.
yeah, it's just that there's so much to share. And then what you do is, after this one is done and everybody has taken from it, then you add more and you just keep it cooking, and it's a wonderful party.
Oh,
Yeah.
and you can keep these little burners and buy the little cans of gas
Yeah.
in the
Or
burners to keep
and
it
the
going.
one thing about the reason why I'm going to turn this off so it's not overcooked. You don't want to ever overcook anything because then it's not what it should be. And they use earthenware because it's thicker than metal and it holds the heat. See how it's still cooking and this burner's off, and it'll hold the heat for a long time. And
So you can have little ones like this, right?
yeah, they make
Little
all
tiny
sizes.
ones. But I would refrain from getting them from the Chinese stores because sometimes they have toxic materials in them. So
yeah,
make sure
you
it's
have
a
to
good
be careful.
Japanese
Yeah, like
style.
this is, yeah, and it'll say made in Japan. So that's a pretty wonderful way to eat. I
So
hope
how
everybody
can
enjoys.
our viewers reach you now? Is there a phone number or website or?
Well, I did put it. I don't know if they got it.
So the website,
Is Mary's Veggie Cooking?
okay, .com.
Yeah.
And you'll answer questions about recipes, maybe post some of these recipes, start to build in terms of
Yeah,
cooking
taking
classes.
time, but I'm getting closer to doing it, and so it's something I've been wanting to do, but to just make it happen. And thanks to Sheri, she was on one of my flights, and we got together again, and she's just been encouraging me, like
Because you're so much
keep-
knowledge
keep
and
doing it. You know, I
background.
kind of fell into the background.
Yeah.
Well, it's
And-
hard to make a living in those days, and I had 4 children. It was just so I had to do something to get the medical benefits, and so that was why I
Yeah, so
changed.
it's great. So
Yeah.
now that you're doing both. So I really enjoy these styles of cooking, and we're going to feed the crew
Yes,
as they
we
come
have-
through. So they're going to fill up their little bowls of vegetables with some broth, and then they're going to put all the little toppings in.
Yeah.
And what's
then we can cook some
exciting
more.
is
Here,
some
we
of
can
these
take
people,
this off,
right?
and we can put this one on. and
Okay,
make
so
more.
this is the okay. So we're going to make a little nabe.
Yeah, you can
Okay.
have all sizes depending on the amount of people that.
And these are very hot, so you have to be careful when you take them off. Well, thank you, Mary. I'm
Oh,
so
hi.
excited
Yeah.
to serve the crew
everybody
here
enjoyed it.
today at Will Creek Winery, some of your fresh nabe. And I'm hoping that the viewers try this dish, that it's really simple and easy to do at home. And we look forward to catching up with you on your new website.
Thank you, Sheri. Thank you all.